me at Cello, Cello. You had me at Cello. You had me at Cello. Oh, you had me at Cello. Hi,
Hey.
everybody. 5 o'clock on a Friday. Time for another
Yeah.
episode of Cello Chat. I'm super excited to be visiting today with Laura Andrade. Laura, how are things?
Great. Things are great. You caught me in a good spot. Thank you. How are
Good,
you?
good, great. I'm doing really well myself. Very much looking forward to this. You are, I'm like just your recordings on YouTube and what one reads online. You sound very inspirational, and I mean, fortunately, I've been privileged to interview a number of very inspiring people on this show. But boy, you can't get. There's no such thing as too much inspiration. So I'm
Yeah,
really
that's
looking
true. That's
forward
true.
to visiting you with you as well.
Oh,
So
thank you so much.
yeah, and so I always like to start, of course, with kind of how you got started in music, and you started in a town very dear to me as well, good old
Yeah.
Austin, Texas.
Oh, yes. Austin, Texas. I saw you went to UT Austin, right?
That's right.
That's
Yeah, right.
yes. Let's go along here.
So
Oh, yes. I'm so glad you're familiar with how special Austin is of a town. It sets itself apart from the rest of Texas. Someone asks where to go in Texas, you say you got to go to Austin.
but
Um,
you could say that
uh,
about the world in a way.
I guess that's true. That is true. I feel very lucky to have grown up there. I well, I've been very lucky. So, gosh, where do I start? Well, I started cello when I was 5 years old. Not my choice, it's family, parents' choice. I have two older sisters. We're each 2 years apart, and we actually, my mom started the three of us on piano lessons, and we would do the weekend piano project classes at the UT Austin, and you know, from there, my mom met a lot of new friends, and her friends were starting their kids on string instruments, and enrolled us in the string project at the University of Texas at Austin. And uh, yeah, I think that they needed a cello student. They had too many violins and violas, and both my sisters played the viola, and I was lucky to be handed a cello. And um, I think that was the start of um, our family coming together on the weekends to um, do the music classes, the lessons, and meet other families and other kids. It was very much, I have loved to talk about community, but it felt like a little community that started to build. And in Austin, I also, as a kid, enrolled in the Austin Chamber Music Center with my sisters as well. And that's when I first started to uh, discover chamber music. And I believe I think I was plopped into a chamber music group before I really started private lessons. So I think playing with other musicians is something I really loved from the beginning. And growing up in Austin, because it's such a diverse musical landscape and there's lots of musical inspiration any corner you turn, I was me and my sister Rita. She's a violist to this day, and we joined a 17-person chamber pop band in Austin. And so I was on the weekends was the classical music stuff, and then on top of that, I was doing a lot of more creative pop and different blending kinds of music with friends. And so yeah, I think music was at the core of all my relationships and the friendships I formed. And so it felt inevitable that I would go into music into college. And um, I I went to Eastman for my undergrad, where I studied with Mr. Doane and Rosie Elliott. They changed my life. And well, I guess I forgot to mention my incredible teacher in high school, Amy Levine-Tsang. You may know her. She's the wife of Tsang at UT, and they're a power couple, beautiful cellists, musicians, people, and I was so lucky to have her as my guiding star throughout my high school years. So
Nice.
yeah, and I once I moved to New York State for Rochester in 2012, and then did my master's in New York City in 2016, and never left New York from there. And yeah, as once you're in New York, it's hard to leave. So I've been here ever since.
All
But
right. And in
yeah.
2019 won a big competition.
Yeah, so, well, I won a prize in the Sphinx competition, which was really exciting and definitely a highlight of my early professional years. Yes.
Tremendous, tremendous. Yeah, let's see. So w- you probably entered the String Academy just as I left. I left in 99. And so you're just a little after that, right?
Oh, yes, a little bit after that, I
That's
started
funny.
in like 2000, I think. Yeah.
All right.
Wow, we could have crossed paths. We're
Right,
so
right.
close.
Yeah, yeah. It is an amazing city, though. You're totally right.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
another thing I like to ask people, and I know it's a hard question because it's a big question. There's probably lots of things that fit under this umbrella. But if you were to just pick a couple of the things from your cello mentors that just live in your head on a daily basis about cello playing or musicianship in general, what would you pick?
That's a really tough question.
Yeah.
I think about it all the time. My teachers and the invaluable things they brought to my approach to cello playing. And so if I'm to put, I guess I'll start with my first teacher, um, Amy, who she really helped me love the music. I think she's the first teacher who ever talked about phrasing, about singing, and the emotional depth of the cello repertoire. And on top of that, she was also like really helped me with the tools, technic on a technical level, like basic things, how to shift and the types of shifting, and when to change your bow, and uh, where the peak of a phrase is and where it releases, and these kinds of things. So I think sorry, I don't know how to turn off my messages. She yeah, so she was really wonderful in that way. And so I think that her ability to have me prioritize like that sense of love for the music um, has helped me to this day. And I think was also why I chose a teacher like Mr. Doane. And so Mr. Doane, I think my biggest takeaway from him is all my studio mates would agree that his ergonomics book, his method of cello playing about fluidity and freedom and movement with the instrument is uh, such a foundation for playing at ease. And so it's like developing that cellistic fluency in your arms and your whole body working together to make playing easier. Um, that's a very vague um, takeaway from him, but I could talk about his ergonomics method forever.
Right.
And then I went to study with Natasha Brofsky, and she was very so helpful for me, and she really had a very organized approach was very much like keeping track step by step of what my weaknesses were and really leaning into those things and finding out a way to make them my strengths and um, how I can scaffold a practice session to um, really find more ease in the things that are challenging for me. And so I think from her, I gained a lot more confidence in my playing,
Mm.
and I was able to more apply my musical voice to things because she helped me you know refine and yeah, just bring my standard up to a higher level too. So
Yeah. Boy, that confidence is worth so much on stage.
absolutely, yes, it's so hard. I
Yeah.
I have a lot of battles with confidence. So
Huh. Well, it doesn't come across that way on your recordings, which I mean, which is good. That's what we're striving for.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, took
Yeah.
hard work. Yes.
And it's funny, and I know what you mean with Doane as well. First time I heard him was years ago at European String Teachers Association conference, and he was extremely effective. And that whole ergonomic, it's like I think it's easy for people to underestimate how string playing in a not ergonomic way, I mean, it's kind of dangerous. We can injure ourselves and really limit our ability to our endurance and ability to just kind of play naturally and easily for decades if we're not
Mhm.
careful.
Yes, yes, it is. It's a tricky, and once you're in that zone, it's really, really hard to get through it and unlearn a lot of things. So,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely
better to
agree.
avoid them in the first place, right? And
Yes,
so,
yes.
how would you describe your approach to teaching? You teach at the, what's it called?
Well, I was in Ensemble Connect and I taught at a middle school for 3 years.
Okay,
Um, and through that I um, I teach at a lot of different
okay,
music schools. So I have a couple private students, but I mostly do visits with orchestras and
okay,
schools, do
nice.
private lessons this way. So um, yeah, I think what was your question?
Yeah,
Um,
so your own approach to
oh,
teaching,
yes,
again, in a
yes.
nutshell, and I know it's hard to generalize and condense, but like your priorities, how would you describe your approach to helping your cello students?
Mm. Well, I think my first priority is um, really understanding the student and their. I'm a very emotionally driven person, and I feel like with my students, I want to know how they're feeling about certain things, whether it's cello playing as a whole or a certain technique or like their view of themselves as musicians or as so I'm constantly questioning like the mental part of things because I feel like 90% of what we do is being vulnerable and exposing ourselves and so I think because when I try not to get too bogged down first and foremost on like playing a scale in tune when if you're not feeling like you understand why or how you can approach the scale so that it's actually an enlightening experience for you like I think this approach kind of helps me connect more with the student and understand what it is that they need from me and how I can with my experience guide them towards their own version of self-confidence and musicianship. So um, yeah, I'm very there's like the mental part of things, and then there's also the physical part of things, and the mind and body, and how those two things manifest with the instrument, and from our thoughts and from our breath. And so I'm also a yoga teacher, so
Ah,
I think a lot of
nice.
my philosophies and finding ease in the cello comes from like it's all about body awareness, about how your shoulders and your rotator cuff and your elbow and your wrists all work in harmony together, and how the instrument can really be an extension
Right.
of of you. And so
And you're breathing, like
I'm
you said, and are
yes, and
breathing.
breathing, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, I think for any insanely difficult passage, like finding a way to breathe through it can be sometimes the smallest solution to improving it, at least. So, um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
actually,
my
go ahead.
no, no, no. Go ahead, go ahead. I'm
I was
curious
going to
what you have to
say
say.
that creates a really good segue. Uh,
Mhm.
so one of the pieces that you are on YouTube performing is not just the Schumann cello concerto, the third movement. And that third movement is it's just ornery, it's just so awkward. The string
Yes,
crossings and the
incredibly.
shifts. And it came up not too long ago with some people in my studio. And I maybe would even go a step further in terms of the fact that it is just early enough in the 19th century that it's kind of almost got some classical clean to it that it
Mm.
needs to have as well. And you play it in a way that is very musical and very effective, but you're always in control. Do you know what I mean? And like there can be times where it's very distinctive to go into a masterclass situation and find people. I mean, like the Dvorak concerto or whatever are their own can of worms, but
Yes.
this one, I think it seems like there's a number of young people where, whether they realize it or not, they've lost control of the piece. Do you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
just kind of like trying to keep up with an out of control cart rolling down the hill or something. So I'm just kind of
Yes.
curious, did you practice it in a way that very intentionally kept you in the driver's seat at all times?
Yes. Oh, that's very perceptive of you and relatable, at least what you're saying with this a common student experience and this piece especially. Yeah, I think my practice for that was pretty more rigid than what
Hmm.
you know, what my first instincts do. I'm always thinking what the transcendental musical idea is of a passage or structurally. But I think it literally came down to practicing um, the sensations and the really fast technical things and thinking of the bigger muscles. Um, Often when things start to become like a run-on sentence and it's like tumbling forward, I constantly need like a cue for myself in my head while I'm practicing to slow down and literally like pause and really do things in slow motion, forwards, backwards, side to side, and one note at a time, two notes at a time. Like one note at a time, it's like you're putting in a magnifying glass on this one little section and really asking yourself, what is the sound I want for that note? Even if it's like the third 16th note in a 16th note passage, having full clarity on the type of sound and experimenting. It's constant experimentation
Yes.
as well. So
Yeah.
it's like balancing the rigidity of metronome slow practice with the experimentation of characters and bow speed and um, intonation and things, and there's so
Nice.
many things to talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I particularly like two things, the awareness of the big muscles, because even when we press pause, even when we put a fermata in somewhere, ultimately it's just fast enough that it does have to be almost like dominoes, where,
Yeah.
the any given motion still sets up the next note.
Yes,
And
exactly.
then your thing about, you said forward and backwards, and that can be nice to just kind of, whether it's a shift or a string crossing, to um, you know s- prepare it, and then so you see where you came from and you see where you're going, or something.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah, and
Nice.
I think it's like taking, like if it was an object, you're taking all the dimensions of it and understanding it from all angles. So like
Nice.
I even practice like the same passage, like say it's on the A string, I'll practice the same thing on the D string, and
Mhm.
then on the G string, sometimes the C string, because it's like having that uh, nimbleness and agility and responsiveness in the hands according to each string, and being able to play a passage that's quick and brilliant on the A string just as well on the C string sometimes makes it easier to play on the A string. So like this level of weirdness sometimes can be a very good thing. But
Nice. Yeah, shaking
yeah.
shaking it up. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Okay, so now you are clearly a solo player, a chamber player, an orchestral player, but a couple places in your bios, or just online, it seems like you give a particular shout out to chamber music playing. And chamber music is very special to me too. And I'm just kind of curious, is there something in particular about the nature of chamber music playing and what it demands and what it gives you that makes it in its own special category?
Oh, of course. Yes, and I think everyone I know in a way has chamber music seems to be the core of people's longing and desire to be a musician and pursue it as a career. So I know I'm not the only one when I talk about this, but I had a particularly, um, I guess, enlightening, um, pivotal moment when I went to quartet program as a kid when I was a freshman in high school, and I played a Beethoven quartet for the first time. And it was like explosions in my head from playing Opus 95 and just the stormy nature and just how Beethoven so incredibly captures like everything about humanity in just a short piece. Like, and and I to just focus on this music and work together. I loved the process of um, you know, being curious to other people's approach to music and then figuring out a way together to, uh, create something powerful, much bigger than ourselves is it's kind of a miracle. And so when string quartets actually go out in the world and are professional, I think, and tour together and play all this music together, I really think that's the stars have to align for that to really work. And so I've always dreamed of being in a string quartet, and I think that I'm so glad I have a multi faceted career, but I think my love for that is what uh, started my journey. And I but yeah, the thing about chamber music is being able to have your own artistic imprint and um, these transferable skills you learn in chamber music from. I mean, people don't like the word compromise, but being able to compromise, or like being able to problem solve or work on a team and communicate efficiently without tearing people down, and how do we lift each other up, and how do we um, talk about music and try to put words to things that move us in ways that words don't. So it's a constant challenge, and I love that challenge, like the balance of the flow you get from being in a challenge and also feeling like you can do it. And that chamber music has always been so heart fulfilling in that way for me. Um,
Yeah.
and so I think even in solo playing, there's always an element of collaboration and chamber music. Uh, if it's only about me, I don't want to do it, you know. And so yeah, I think that's really the core of what I'm saying. But
That no, that's great and poetically said. I like there is definitely a miraculous component to it. Uh,
hmm
and what you said about like you having your own, you bring something to the table, but when you go along with other people's interpretation, you don't lose your sense of identity. You know, it's a yes
yeah,
and game. I think what is it like? Improv comedy troops will do yes and or something. You know, I think
yeah,
they get
so
businesses to
fun.
bring all their people in and do these improv comedy things. It'd be fun to do that with chamber music.
Yes, yes, exactly. Imagine if politicians did this.
I
The world would
don't
be
know if
a
that's
much
even possible. They'd get so.
exactly. They don't listen to music, I'm sure,
That's
but
very funny. So, and there is something else in your, maybe it was just in your bio or something that was online that I came across about, you said something very, very passionate about outreach and kind of helping other people find the joy of music. I know that there are many of us musicians who feel that that's part of our mission as well.
Mhm.
So do you want to speak on that any as far
Yeah,
as just kind of helping to bring it into other people's lives?
yeah. Well, I think that's kind of the fuel to my fire of continuing to play music. Because like, in order to stay relevant and feel make a difference for a person and a group of people or larger communities, like um, I don't know, you have to find a way to get find a common ground with the audiences you're trying to reach, because ultimately, like, you can only have a career if you have audiences in a way. So um, and the audiences are human just like us, and it's never um, I don't know. I don't see the exchange of sharing music as something where we're doing them a favor. It's a very um, equal, symbiotic relationship, and it takes thoughtfulness and the way you program and the way you talk about the music with the audience, or invite people to a collective you're starting, or yeah. And I think when you're least able to put something personal in in any concert, or a through line, and bringing people together, then it's just so much more meaningful, and it makes the experience so much more fulfilling for both sides in a concert experience. So I truly don't think it matters um, who the audience is, because the music is universal language for a reason. And um, you know, I guess I'm talking very. Um, it sounds like it's rainbows and unicorns. It's hard work to to reach communities, and but I think there's space for it everywhere. You just have to gently knock on the right doors, and um, uh, you know, always have the passion for the music, and be able to speak to why, having a strong why in doing it. So so while I was in Ensemble Connect, I really loved creating interactive concerts and bringing our concerts to a huge variety of different people, and how we were able to tailor something to like a kindergarten class, to um, a, a home for people with disabilities, or incarceration centers. There was always something that got to the heart of why we're there, and people are able to appreciate it if you're equally open to appreciating them for
Yeah.
being part of it. So,
Yeah. Again,
um,
I like that. I think that's well said. All
yeah.
right. Well, Laura, so what projects do you have coming up? Performances coming up? I know because you're in how many different chamber music groups alone, let alone the symphony?
I do quite a bit. I play in a string quintet called Super 5. We work with composers and we travel a lot. And I'm also, well, I do a lot of freelancing and recording in New York and in LA. And I also just started helped start a ensemble in Guayaquil, Ecuador, where my father is from.
Wow.
And this has actually been the core focus of my life lately. I actually just got back from Ecuador not even a week ago, doing the first launching of concerts for Guayaquil chamber players, and it's a collective to bring the incredibly vibrant communities of Ecuador together and to celebrate chamber music. And there's so many musicians there that are just so eager to play and to perform, and they don't normally have the access to these kinds of experiences. And so to work with musicians there is particularly meaningful, and I think it's going to continue in an international capacity. So I'm
Wow.
very excited for it. Yeah.
Wow. Good luck. That sounds awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, been busy, but
All
I'm
right.
very grateful, and I'm very lucky to make music work as a career.
Yeah,
No,
it is. I mean, you're absolutely right. It's very hard work, constantly hard work, but we're so lucky to be in a field where we get paid to do this magical, miraculous thing called music day after
yes.
day.
Yeah. Well, I think what you do too is a testament to like the hard work. I know we didn't have a chance to talk about it much, but from what you do with teaching and your writings and publishing, bringing students together and like finding ways to make the lives of cellists easier, I think really
Well,
amazing.
thank you.
Really amazing.
It's great when it's a labor of love, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really is.
Well,
Uh,
thanks so much, Laura. It's been really great visiting with you, and it's just
Likewise.
I always look forward to visiting with my students afterwards and about the things that resonated with them the most. And there's a lot of
Mhm.
material in there to for them to think about.
Oh, so happy. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure and an honor. And
Perfect.
yeah, I'll definitely stay tuned to
All
the
right.
things
Well,
you have
thank
going.
you.
Thank
And
you
maybe,
for having
hopefully,
me.
our paths will cross. Maybe in Austin sometime.
Yes. Oh, yes. Did you ever try any taco places in Austin that you
Oh
liked,
yeah,
or?
there's so
Yeah.
many. I mean, it's just like the restaurants, not only the Mexican Tex-Mex barbecue, and then just the odd distinctive stores and
Yeah.
the world's largest urban bat colony and like what?
Yeah. It's so random. It's so hilarious. It's amazing.
Cool. All right.
Yay.
Well, best of luck to you in your
Thank you. Thank
endeavors.
you.
And thanks
You too.
again. And to all of you watching, we'll see you this same time next week. Happy practicing.
You had me at jello.